This media is brought to you by Polyscope.
In the realm of tomorrow, where techniques mind, we ponder, we dream.
Again. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great to finally meet you because this is how we meet each other nowadays over Zoom. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization and what you're passionate about?
Okay. My name's Bruce Clay. I started a company in January of 1996.
No way.
Yeah, that's a long way
Not
away.
not even this century. Wow.
Right? Yeah, I know. It's almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
My background is math, computer science, MBA kind of thing. And I looked for something that was marketing and something that was programming and algorithmic. And along comes the internet. And on the internet, along comes search engines.
Perfect timing.
So perfect timing. At least for me, it was perfect timing. I have been doing search engine optimization right from day one.
Wow.
It wasn't called that on day one. I've been given credit for coining the term search engine optimization. You'll
Wow.
see, although nobody was around really recording anything at the time, nobody knows how this
I think
really happened.
you should just take that, grab it, and say this is me. If nobody else has
I
said
believe
it.
it's right because I had a long history of doing optimization on mainframes before I got into this. So my background was already optimization. So I was okay with that. Started the company, named it Bruce Clay because that's what consultants do.
Why not, right?
Yeah. And I figured I'd just be a consultant. And, the old notebook computer, Corona, and a beach concept was pretty much at
you were
the
a
top of
digital
my mind.
nomad like way back from
Way back.
you were a digital nomad in the 90s. That must have been difficult.
Well, I hate to put it this way, but when I started doing this, everybody was still on modems.
Yeah. I remember those things.
For those of us that can remember the sound of a modem dialing. So that was, and you connected with Netscape and AOL and you did all that stuff.
Very, very early days with the gray backgrounds. Remember those?
And it was 3 years before Google.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. There are people who didn't know there was a time before Google.
Oh, yeah.
But I started doing it. I developed some tools that allowed me to really be efficient and effective. Started doing it. People started hiring me, started doing more. People hired me. I was very voiced in telling everybody about SEO. I mean, I was screaming it, if you will.
What did you write the tools in? You mind me asking?
Well, it was there were a couple of things. The first thing I found out is none of my mainframe languages worked.
You tried, right? You sat down and tried some COBOL or Fortran or whatever.
And then no, it didn't work. And I had to go around and figure out what I was going to be doing. But
was it
that was
Perl,
a long time
Perl
ago.
scripts or stuff like that?
Yeah. A lot was Perl, and a lot of APIs and a lot of, trying to get things just worked out. But the issue isn't whether that was the case. I actually did the first 4 versions of my tools. Then I had hired people to take over IT.
Right.
But what was really cool is early on, Danny Sullivan started doing conferences.
Yes, I remember
Search
Danny.
engine strategies back then. And I remember going to the first search engine strategies. He invited all of the people that were leaders doing SEO to the conference to be speakers. And all 8 of us sat at one round table in the bar.
Did you realize that this was the beginnings of a humongous, like a massive industry? Because
I didn't know
basically
it
what
was
you created a massive industry.
right. Well, at the time, my view was, I mean, how do you take something like this and go international, or
Right.
how do you do that? And it turns out, if you speak at enough conferences and post in enough newsletters and respond very much like we are here, enough, people start figuring out who you are.
Mm.
And now I actually have an office in Sydney, Tokyo, Singapore, all over Europe, India,
Wow.
Bruce Clay offices.
Fantastic.
So it went pretty viral worldwide. Um, and it has performed very, very well overall.
Nice.
Um,
Who were your first clients? I'm curious
oh,
to know who jumped in at the beginning.
they were mom and pops
Oh,
typically.
really?
Really, there weren't a lot of the large companies were slow to adopt. I remember in particular that one of the clients I thought was absolutely the right kind of client. It was a practicing witch. It was a Wicca
I love
site,
it. I love
and
it.
and it was a practicing witch. And I remember saying out loud to many people, every SEO needs a practicing witch as a client.
At least at least one.
Yeah, got to do that. And
So in the days
but
before Google, I mean, what engine were you optimizing for? AltaVista or Yahoo
it was
or
AltaVista site, but the
yeah,
big one at the time that was performing well was InfoSeek.
InfoSeek. Yes, I remember them. I
InfoSeek
remember
was
them.
wonderful in that you could do a query and see how you rank. You can edit your website. I
Mm.
mean, like edit right now. You can go to InfoSeek, you can submit it, and within a minute, you can see how the ranking changed.
Wow. That's
Well,
phenomenal.
that is phenomenal because if you wanted to learn the consequence of a change, you don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
wait for a week.
Yeah.
And the
Immediate
biggest problem
feedback.
we
That's
face now,
amazing. You can't do
yeah,
that today.
you can't. And the biggest problem we face now is in a week, everything changes.
Everything changes in a minute, in seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a wonderful opportunity to learn how things worked and consequence, cause and effect. It performed very, very well at the time. And I was pretty much fortunate that I had tools, some of the first tools ever, and I was able to analyze pages and, do all that
Well,
kind of stuff
how
and
did
make
how
a
did it
change
work?
and up it went.
How did it work then? I mean, I can like when Google came along with PageRank, obviously PageRank was their special sauce, but what 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 did you do before pre-Google to optimize
Yes.
your pages?
So the primary tool at the time it was called a keyword density analyzer.
Mm,
But what it really did is it would parse a web page and it would take the title and the description and the keywords and the headings and it would separately parse each of those separate areas and tell you the frequency and density of your particular keywords.
right,
And it would automatically analyze every word on the page as a four-word phrase, a three-word phrase, two and one.
right,
And so what I could do is I could run that particular tool and know that for the important keyword, you're not using it in your body.
right.
All you got to do is change that and you rank. But nobody had visibility to it.
Mm,
The closest tool out there would just say, on this page, use this word that many times. It wouldn't separate it by tag.
right.
And so I was able to just analyze a page, figure out, okay, I got to do this four times. Has to be at the top of the page, not the bottom. It has to, and
But you
any word.
you sussed out what InfoSeek needed to be able to detect what's in the page and then put it at the top.
and
right?
put
So
it
you
where it
figured that out.
belongs. Yeah.
Right.
If there's a word in the title, it better be in the body,
Right.
you know. And um, and what's cool about it is when Google did come out and everything was page rank and inbound links and a lot of spam,
Mm,
all of that still worked.
hmm.
And now it actually works better than links.
Really?
That's the cool
Well,
part.
I often wonder, like, what happened to PageRank? I mean, did PageRank like really reduced in importance, right? It's
Yeah.
way down on the scale now when it comes to relevance, right?
Right. And in fact, today, because of AI, a lot of the AI consideration is whether you're a brand. And the
Mm,
big consideration of whether you're a brand is two things. One is mentions. Now,
mm,
a link is a mention, but so is a mention,
right,
even if it's not a link. And the second part of that is sentiment. I mean, is somebody saying this site is good or this site is bad?
right.
And
But
and
where,
by
so
the
they get,
way,
but they're getting that off of social media, right? So they're harvesting
well,
mentions
they're getting it
and
out of
sentiment,
everybody.
right?
They're getting it out of emails.
Mm.
I mean, you got to understand, Google owns Gmail, right?
Yeah, that's the thing
Um,
that, do you remember when Gmail first came out and everybody was aghast that they were scanning your emails so they can put ads against them? So everyone said, "Oh, I don't want to use Gmail because that's you know, looking at my private emails." So they said, "Okay, fine, we'll take away the ads." You think they stopped scanning the emails? They
no, of course not.
Why
And in
would they do
fact,
that?
it was about, oh, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks ago ish, at Google I/O, they announced that to assist AI, they're putting in a personalization layer. And the
Mm,
personalization is for that person doing the query. They're going to take that person's Gmail, that person's YouTube history, and
wow,
use that information to bias the AI to make it smarter so that it can give you what you want, not
wow.
what somebody else wants. So obviously, they have not stopped scanning
Yeah,
all sorts of things.
the privacy train has
My
left the station, like Scott McNeely
and
said.
in a lot of companies, especially larger companies, we have our company, bruceclay.com emails. It's actually Gmail.
Mm,
We're paying for the Google services,
yeah,
which, by the way, are, I think, expensive. But we're paying for the Google services and getting all these neat things like
yeah.
terabytes of space and
Oh yeah. I mean,
software
it's got
and
value for money. It's just so easy to use it. And I'm
right.
assuming they're scanning all that too, right? As long as Google has your data, what's stopping them?
Yeah,
I'm
you've
sure it's
got
in the terms
terabytes that
somewhere.
just accidentally are hosted by Google. Um,
Yeah, but they
no,
don't. They said they don't. They weren't being evil, so I should believe them, right? They don't be evil.
well, define evil. Evil is, uh, you have these things over time that you wouldn't do, right?
Yep.
But if everybody in the world is doing it, you have to, be
You have to do
competitive.
it. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that the problem that we're facing today, this is just sort of an editorial comment, is
Hmm.
China.
Hmm.
China's taken everything.
Yep.
Whatever they can get, they're using it any way they want. And in the AI world, that's going to be a problem because in
Yep.
the US, I can't take things that are copyrighted or I can't take things that are protected by patents, but
Yep.
China can.
Yep. No, no, no,
And
exactly.
that's posing a serious problem for everybody. So I think we will all have to learn.
Exactly. So you have seen like 30 years of search engine optimization and its changes over time. So what would you
Every
say is
Monday.
like the That's why I can't say every change. Every like it changes all the time. So what are the big changes that you think have affected it over time?
Well, part of it is that, and you should remember this, when Google started, all it was is 10 blue links. There
Hmm.
were no ads.
Yeah, no, I absolutely
The,
remember that. And they
the number,
stole the idea from Yahoo, who had already bought over like what was the name of the company that they bought? They bought a company that invented pay per click ads.
right,
I
and they
forget.
were originally 2 cents per click.
Yes, I remember that really well. I know Yahoo bought the company because I worked at Yahoo for from '05 to '09, and I remember that they owned the company and then they owned the patent for it, and they took a one-time payment from Google instead of doing some kind of ongoing thing. So Yahoo, they kind of screwed up themselves up over time, but I remember that they owned it, they owned the whole the patent for pay-per-click advertising,
Yep.
and
And
Google just went and implemented it without
yeah.
permission. Anyway,
But you
sorry.
see, in the Google case, you asked me what were the major milestones. I
Right,
think the number one most significant milestone was pay-per-click.
right.
I think the number two significant milestone was Google going public.
Mm.
You see, because as soon as you go public, within 6 months of that, you have to disclose any issues that
Uh,
you have, right? So
hmm.
Google was fixing everything right up to the Chicago update, and which was 6 months earlier, and then they went into a freeze or lockdown.
Yeah,
So there was a major set of things because Google all of a sudden had to be accountable to shareholders.
yeah.
And I think that was one of the most significant things. Then, unfortunately, because they became accountable to shareholders, they had to try to engineer a multi-year plan where every year they can make more money.
Hmm.
And that's what's
That's the tech company roller
evolved.
coaster or tech company treadmill. You got to keep
Yeah.
making more money all the time.
And their problem was they had to make more money out of a reasonably finite set of services.
Right,
And so that became an issue. And I think that they did well with it, but I think that was an issue.
right.
And now what we're doing is we're seeing uh, things tip.
Mm.
Normally in a magazine, you will have a limit of 42% of all space can be ads.
Right.
You have to have editorial and things like that. And that hasn't really been maintained. I mean, they
Mm.
went from 10 blue links, so companies were willing to let them take snippets of content and display it so that they could get traffic.
Yeah, it made them visible.
And now it's far less than 32% and 42%. And it's, um, I mean, the content part, the organic results are a fraction.
Oh yeah.
And there's a pretty righteous movement to complain about the fact that Google isn't doing fair use.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
They're
when I look at a
not.
Google
They're
page now compared to what it was like when it first started, I'm like, there's almost nothing left here
right.
from the original list.
And even
It's
when you see organic, in many cases, there's only 7 entries.
yeah,
People forgot that. They assume it's 10 per page, but no, maybe seven.
yeah.
I've
And
seen
then the
some at
algorithms
four.
that pull up those that small bunch of seven, those have gotten super sophisticated, right?
Right. And as of today, if the query is informational,
Hmm.
you actually have to scroll to get to the first organic result.
Wow. So they basically taken over.
Yes.
There's no room left. There's no room
Everything
left for
above the
anybody else.
fold is to the benefit of Google. And
Do you ever feel
uh,
like a hacker or like a hacker tracker kind of thing? It's like the people are putting out viruses and you're in there trying to go back against them. You're constantly fighting this change. Like every Google algorithm update, you've got to like redo everything that you're doing. You have to try and stay ahead of them.
To a great extent, it's you have to be a fast follower, no
Yeah,
matter what. Anticipating Google is difficult. Futures research is wonderful if you could figure it out.
right.
Um, I I think that what we're seeing now is that there's a shift in what you're optimizing.
Mm,
See, I never said, nobody has ever said that search engine optimization is only organic.
right.
I mean, in the beginning, there was only organic and it kind of latched on. But anything that the search engine produces in a search result page is viable search engine optimization,
Right. Including paid ads.
including paid ads. If it appears on that result page, it's SEO.
Yeah.
And now what we're doing is if you look at the Google search result page, there's a possibility of, say, 40 different functions. People also ask, and local pack, and all sorts of things. There's 40 options.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Reddit I
And
noticed coming up lately too.
yeah, well, here's the difference. Reddit isn't necessarily a function. It's being presented as if it is organic and
Mm,
it's getting a falsified boost.
right.
So I think that is in particular an industry problem. But if there's 40 functions, and our analysis has been, it's somewhere between 8 and 9 usually, functions per keyword. So if I do a keyword query, there'll be like 8 functions from something on the page. And often it'll be AIO.
Mm.
But sometimes it's paid and sometimes it's local and sometimes it's,
Yeah, because it
people
depends on the
also
keyword, right? If you
ask.
say if you put in LA or you talk about Los Angeles, you're going to get location information. If you put in, a company name, you'll get that. So it varies greatly
It
as to what you're
does.
going to get.
And
Yeah.
not only that, but it isn't um, specific. For
Mm,
instance, if I do a search and it gives me the local pack, but I don't click on anything, after a while, it'll stop showing the local pack for that same search,
right.
right? So it is sensitive to what are people doing and engaging with that search result page.
Mm,
But the problem you face is if organic is down and you have to scroll to get to it, what it really means is something else is above it.
right.
And that then becomes our SERP visibility problem. We have to learn how to optimize for these other functions.
Yeah, because the whole point is being in that space above the fold. And
Right.
it used to be you would just optimize keywords, and it used to be that you'd want organic search, but now it's all hands on deck, like whatever's available, whatever you need to do to get up there. Because if you're not there, then you're invisible, more or
Right.
less. Yeah.
You're right. And so we're spending a lot of energy on building um, how do you optimize for each of the separate functions.
Mm,
And we've already got that figured out, and we're in the process now of rolling it out. It turns out there's a number of things that are common across functions. You do this, it works everywhere.
right.
And just, I think it was 2 days ago in Singapore, Google had a large conference, a presentation.
Hmm.
And at the presentation, Gary, who's their spokesperson, openly said the way to get into AIO is to just do SEO better. There is
But
no
that definition keeps changing.
right, and there's all these acronyms. And
Yep.
by the way, the reason for an acronym is somebody who doesn't know how to do SEO, they invent something else to make themselves look special. And but Google basically said if you do SEO right, there's some extensions, right? But if you do SEO right, you're going to win.
Mm,
And so it really turns out that in the AI race, that everybody, uh, I mean, when you think about everybody has to do SEO,
Mm,
But when you think about it, Google has 26 years of understanding how to get rid of spam.
right.
An LLM chat is a year and a half old, 2 years
Yeah.
old. It doesn't have that database.
No, no.
It can't do that.
Yep.
And there's a lot of how do I know you're an expert? How do I know you're an authority? How do I know how fast you are? How
Right.
do I know all the 300 components in the Google algorithm?
Right.
And it turns out that Google has basically said AIO runs off of their index.
Mm,
And they didn't create a whole new search engine just for AI.
no.
What they did is they have a different presentation component, but it's the same fundamental back end. And so, yeah, I think that when we get in and we start looking at AI, um, it's going to be the same. AI is one of the features. We have to figure out how to optimize for that by extending and going deeper on the um, really on the SEO components. It turns out it cares more about portions of a web page than the whole page
Mm,
because that's a topic. And AI cares about topics more than, hi, you have 2,000 words. It doesn't
right.
care if you have 2,000 words. It
Right.
cares do you answer the question.
Right. But search engines
And
care how many words you have, right?
yeah,
Most of the time, or is
well,
that no longer a thing?
Google has actually said it doesn't matter how many words are on the page. They don't count words.
Mm.
You don't get credit for having more nonsense. Um,
So I don't need to write
but
that 2,000 word blog post anymore?
oh man, we set our standard down to 1,200 words.
Hmm.
And we can turn around a page and have it ranked in AIO and featured snippet within 24 hours.
Wow. Well, you
I
guys
mean,
have
it
it
isn't,
down.
you just have to know how to do it. And yeah, that's what happens when you've been doing it for 30 years.
So
And
AI was
AIO
a
just really rolled over.
so AI was is like the massive latest change
Correct.
to this whole business. And how has it affected it? Because I mean, when I first saw that, I thought to myself, this is going to be the end of search engines. Why would I bother going to Google when I can go to AI and have AI answer all my questions for me? And it'd be the front end for search engines. But I've noticed that a lot of people don't, I mean, there's some people who have moved over to AI and use AI exclusively for their queries, but a lot of people are resisting it.
So as of today, 18% of queries are chat type queries,
Okay. So
right?
it's a number. It's a decent enough number, but it's still not a majority.
It's a big enough number, but you have to understand how people use it.
Mm,
The way search works is I may go to social media, or I may go to chat, or I may go to YouTube, and I will find a brand or I will find a product. I will then still go to the gatekeeper. I will go
mm,
to Google and search for it because
right,
I can't really do commerce at a trusted level unless I'm in Google,
right. And
right? There's an
you have
issue
to
of
check all of
trust.
your assumptions, right? Because a lot of times the bots are incorrect.
And many times I'll see something on social media and I'm going to say, oh, that's a cool product. I ought to buy that. And I go to Amazon and there's that product with a whole bunch of 1 stars.
Exactly.
And see, it turns out the gatekeepers, the Google or the Amazon or the manufacturer or whatever, that is found through Google.
Yeah. They have
And
the source of truth, basically.
yeah, that's it, because nobody else is trusted. Everybody
Mm,
knows that person out on social media is selling something.
yep.
Everybody knows they're an affiliate, or everybody knows they're hyping their product.
Yep.
Um, and that's sort of the belief that it'll identify products that you would be interested in, but you can't trust it. You have to go to a source of truth.
Yeah. So it's
And
a two-stage process.
it's a two-stage process. And
Mm,
as a result, Google is still going to be there. Now, where we run into the problem for sites such as mine, I'm a service company. and my site is informational.
Mm,
And the problem is that AI answers informational questions.
right.
So the traffic, even though the impressions and the number of mentions have gone up, the number of people clicking through to my site has dropped because Google is taking mine and my colleagues' content, wordsmithing it, and presenting it answer level.
Yeah. So there's no need for you to go to your site because
They don't
it's
have to go to my site.
right.
So traffic is generally down about 60 to 75% for
Wow. That
information
sounds
sites.
disastrous.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, but there's other things that you can do for traffic.
Mm.
But here's the problem. I read this week a prediction that because of what's planned, it'll drop to 10%.
Holy crap.
90% traffic loss.
Goodbye blogs. Goodbye informational sites. They'll
Well,
disappear.
that's exactly right. Heavy
Yeah.
informational sites will suffer. Now, don't get me wrong. If you say, how do I do search engine optimization? That's a book.
Yeah.
That isn't going to be an AI. All right. That those things are still going to be the purview of sites,
Right.
but you can't get around the fact that a lot of people just want trivial information,
Yeah.
right? And the no-click query rate is still high.
Mm.
You know, two-thirds of all mobile searches, they don't go to anywhere.
Yeah.
They get an answer, that's all they wanted.
Yeah.
Desktop, it's about half of that. It's about a third, but
Yeah.
it's still a high enough number. But the problem you face is now AIO is taking my content and my colleagues' expert content, wordsmithing it and regurgitating it. So why should they go to my site to have 3 paragraphs of answer?
Wow. So that tells
And
me I should put everything behind a paywall so that AI can't grab it.
well, or you could just block Google, but as far as I'm
Who would want
concerned,
to do that?
instead of a 90% traffic loss, it's now 100%. I don't know how that works. But I do think that the fair thing would be for Google to go to the 42% Google revenue, and
Right.
the rest is where they got their money.
Is there a
And
chance that that will happen?
well, maybe in the antitrust, something can come out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not, if I have to make more money, I have to put something else at the top of the page where I make more money.
Mm.
Sending people to these organic sites doesn't help Google.
No.
Even though the only reason you went to Google was because of the organic information,
Right.
sending
But
them off.
they've basically stolen it and they're presenting it, and I guess affiliate sites and blog sites and all those sites they're basically going to drop to like you said 10%. So
10%.
that whole industry is going to be wiped out when that happens.
Well, it'll be certainly reduced. What I'm finding is there's ways that you can get your site optimized so that instead of being number 5, you're number 1.
Mm.
And that's a counterbalance, right? Because at number 5, you're at 8% click-through rate. Number 1, you're at 25% click-through rate.
Right.
There's things that you can do to counterbalance it. You can also rank better in AIO.
Mm.
And if Google is in fact the gatekeeper, and if AI is at the top of the page, you want to be there.
You have to be there. Yeah,
So,
it's like product placement, right? Because it's gone from an ad to product placement in AI results.
correct. And so, yeah, you got to be there. And so our focus is to be in the other parts of the search result page.
Mm.
A lot of my colleagues have gone in a different way. They've gone to getting optimized in social,
Mm.
or performing better in some off Google manner.
Right.
But and while we do that, I'm going to wait for the ads to show up and then I just can buy ads because I know
But
all
isn't
that
that
is going to do
yeah.
is send traffic to Google.
Yeah. Isn't that the shortcut in the end though? I mean, if you've got the money but not the time, you basically just have to say, I'll buy the ads.
As long as your ROI is sufficient.
Yeah.
You see a lot of companies, they haven't recovered from COVID yet, but a lot of companies are running 20 to 30% margins.
Mm.
Well, if all of a sudden I have to give 15% to Google for the ad,
Yeah.
there better
Oops.
not be a hiccup.
Mm.
And I think we're going to see businesses change. I'll mention this. In the beginning, the biggest browser out there was Netscape.
Yep.
And then there was IE. And
Hmm.
then there was Firefox. And then there is Chrome.
Yep.
All that does is prove that people are fickle. That if some
Chrome still has the
better
majority of the market.
mousetrap,
Yeah.
if some better mousetrap actually shows up, people are all in favor of it,
Yeah. And
right?
new browsers are being launched every day, which I
Yeah,
find
there's many.
surprising that there's so many new browsers. Is like, isn't this market already very saturated? But the browser makes a difference as to where you go, right?
Right. And what you see and the percentage of distribution on the page and the speed and is it private? I've been seeing the TV commercials about Safari being, you know,
The
super
mo the most
secure and
private browser, right?
right, um and I believe that people will be fickle. They
Mm.
will eventually, there'll be another browser coming, and eventually there'll be another search engine coming. People will get sick of Google making money, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
If every time you turn around there's a Google ad, people are going to get sick of it.
Yeah. It's going to be a
And
while though. I
well,
mean, people are chipping. They're chipping at it, but there's still like it's still the big elephant in the room, right? Is Google and Google
well,
Chrome.
so let me give you an example of disturbances in the force.
Hmm.
In 2 years, chat is going to have its own browser,
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe less.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just go to the browser and get my answer. Oh
Well,
my
that's what I'm saying.
goodness.
Like AI is gonna get to the point where, and if it's good enough, and if it's informed enough, then you won't need to go double check at Google or somewhere else. So
And
that's where we're going to be eventually.
the reason it's 18% instead of 30% is I have to go to it.
Mm.
But imagine if it's right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And 30% will move it up above YouTube and
Yeah.
or in the range. And it's only a matter of time until there's a YouTube knockoff
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
there's some sort of voice thing that is amazing, tied
Yeah.
into chat, tied
Yeah.
into Claude, tied
Yeah.
into everything. We are using something called Bedrock, which is an Amazon invention.
Hmm.
And what we do is our software interfaces through an API with Bedrock, but we can tell Bedrock which LLM to use.
Mm.
So I
Nice.
can, part of my scripts, which by the way are programmed, not console, part of the scripts can be do this in chat,
Hmm.
then do your own queries of Google, then do Claude to produce the report.
Nice.
And you can mix and match based on, oh, it's e-commerce, so I'm going to use that one, and it's mathematical, I'm going to use this one, and this one requires a deep dive, but this one just requires an answer. And you can use Bedrock to deal with all of them.
Wow. That
And I
sounds
mean, it's
great.
expensive. It's gonna, I mean, we're well into six digits.
Okay, I better buy some
But
more Amazon stock. I was thinking about they run the
well,
world.
if this works, Amazon's going to be a player in there too.
Mm,
And um, and I'm imagining that what's going to happen is there's my application. It deals with the Bedrock API, and it tells it what to do, and it deals with all of the LLMs. I can imagine a layer right there that figures out what I want and determines which LLMs to use,
oh, I would love to see that.
right? And it figures it all out for me and gives me the best answer. And here's the good thing about Bedrock. It allows concurrent multitasking.
Mm.
So what it can do is it can actually query two different LLMs and then decide which is the best answer.
Oh, wow. That is where we need to be.
And if they give different answers, it can query a third and take the majority. I
Wow.
mean, it can do an awful lot of things that you're not going to get out of chat.
Yeah.
Now, is chat
I
going
would
to
like
have
that
its own
agent to be
browser?
on my
Maybe
side,
that,
though.
pardon me?
I would like that agent to be on my side, like an
Yeah.
instance of that running sort of point for me against the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Is that where it's going?
Well, it'll get to a point where it's the Star Trek computer. You ask it anything, it just gives you the right answer.
Yeah. Hey, with no ads embedded.
No ads. Well, I mean, when you think about it, you can't have the Star Trek computer with ads.
Mm.
I mean, could you imagine how many photon torpedoes do we have? And you get an ad for photon torpedoes.
Would you hear about the Jeep thing? This is I don't know if you've heard about this, but apparently there's somebody has reported that Jeep is now showing ads on their infotainment system. Like whenever they stop at a stop sign, an ad pops up, like a
Really?
pop-up ad.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. No, I didn't hear that.
that would drive me crazy. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Or you have to pay them a premium for the
For
adless
them to turn
version.
it off. Yeah, exactly. Like the Kindles with the with like advertise Kindles with ads or Kindles without ads. So you can have Jeeps with ads or Jeeps without ads. It's nuts.
You get, yeah, it, but you see, the advertising world is going to a how do I make more money?
Yeah.
And AI is going to help them,
Mm,
right? The one thing I think is going to hold consistent for a while is YouTube,
mm.
right? Because it's got an entirely different algorithm and an entirely different purpose in life
Yeah.
than answering questions.
Yeah.
It's a entertainment. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So YouTube will be
Educational, entertainment, yeah, all of that.
for a
But
while. It'll be the
it's designed for viewing as
yeah.
opposed to reading, right? And it's not as interactive as like if you think about Google, I mean, it's super interactive. It's like you ask a question, then you ask another question, and you refine and you mess around with it, and you're playing with it just like you would a chatbot. But with YouTube, it's like you find the thing you want to watch, and then you sit there for however long it is to watch it at double speed, which is what I do.
Well, I have a tendency to speak a little bit slower,
Mm.
and because people do have a tendency to run it at 2x, and I don't want to sound like a mouse.
Smart. So
So
so so where do you think? So where is this going? Like, so AI is the biggest disruption in this space. It's huge, right?
right now,
So
yes, absolutely.
so where do you see this going? I mean, is so search engine optimization is going to morph again into working with AI, and like where do you see it going? Where do you see the things going in the next 5, 10 years in this space?
Okay, so start at the beginning. SEO was how do I get in organic?
Right,
Then SEO is going to be how do I get in AI?
right,
Then SEO is going to be how do I get the entire SERP no matter what's there? How do
right,
I show up?
right.
Um, I think that voice search has been underutilized. I
Mm,
think we're going to see voice search come up a lot. I'm not sure we're going to see ads in voice search.
Mm.
That means there's going to have to be a transition at the Google level. What I see here's an interesting thing. What I see surviving out of all of this is email,
Mm.
or what will be the equivalent of email as an evolution. It is separate from Google, even though it's Gmail, but um, people still respond to emails.
Oh yeah.
And um, and I know I look at email myself and say, oh, okay, I go to bed, I power down my machine, 7 o'clock, I'm powering the machine back up, and I have 170 emails.
I've got
Seriously,
400.
that was this week. And I wouldn't, an email is interesting. It is spam unless you want it.
Right.
And then as soon as you want it, it's really informative.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that email is going to survive.
Mm.
Maybe there's going to be a tweak and privacy, and there's going to be all sorts of stuff, but email will survive. I think that video will survive.
Mm.
I think that videos will become more entertaining. We've got a couple commercials out there that are 1 minute long. We're going to be introducing a whole bunch of 15 to 30-second fun things.
Mm.
Um,
For socials like TikTok and stuff.
yeah, we're we've already produced many. We're
So you're
going
morphing into an advertising agency, basically.
well, that's what SEO will become,
Mm.
because we have to place ads because clients care. We got rid of the real broad brush,
Mm.
right? We are not building websites, but we can architect enough. It's like a house. You plan it, but somebody else can build it.
Yeah.
So we can help with that. We don't really do conversion rate optimization, but we know enough to be dangerous. But we don't sell that as a service.
Right.
My service is simple. It's SEO, pay-per-click/ads, content, and logically AI is an extension of SEO.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's all I do.
in the foundational sense of the word, you're basically selling visibility, right? You need your clients need visibility, and it went from organic visibility to paid ads visibility to video visibility. So it's visibility, and that's going to be tougher and tougher to achieve over time, right?
Oh, yes. I mean, it has been forever because the number of web pages has grown.
Yeah.
By the way, this is worth thinking about at least. Web pages, many sites, most of the people hearing this have had a website for 5 to 10 years or
Hmm.
longer. All right. I've been doing this for 30 years. So there's a lot of people that have their websites that are pretty well established.
Yep.
And their website in the information area has been somewhat brute force. It has been, I'm going to give you my information. Here it is,
Yep.
slam, goes on the desk, you hear it thud. I mean, that's the information on your website, right?
Yep.
But in the AI world, they care about thematic clustering. They care about are you usable? They
Mm.
care about are you answering questions,
Mm.
right? When you look at what shows up, this is kind of I've been running these experiments and I haven't published anything, but when you run the experiment, what you find is if AI is there, many of the pages that show up start with the word how.
Mm.
That's their page title. And there's architecturally things you can do to cause your site, even in that competitive space, to outrank everybody. That's what we're
Mm.
doing. But if how is how you get into AI, and you have this brute force thud on the desk website that doesn't answer any It doesn't even say the word how on your page.
Wow.
That's we're actually looking at an entire trillion websites that are engineered incorrectly for the AI space.
Mm,
And I don't think any companies have the budget to rewrite all their content.
right. But it sounds like they have to.
Well, they either do or they concede they're out of the uh, search space, which means they're surrendering to their competition. And I don't think they can do that.
No.
But it is
No.
going to be more revolutionary than evolutionary because the degree of change is that severe. You're going to have to understand, how do I get usable? Let's take something simple. One of the simplest things for usability are what's called jump links.
Yep.
99% of the pages on the internet don't have them.
Really?
Really.
I find
How
that very
many
surprising.
pages, how many pages even have breadcrumbs? How
Oh, I
many
thought breadcrumbs
pages?
were passé. Aren't they passé?
No, it's a useful. Oh, no, we insist. You just don't have to use a keyword. But we insist on doing breadcrumbs and jump links. We insist you have a privacy statement in your footer,
Mm,
a link to your privacy statement. You don't have a privacy statement? You don't link to your sitemap? You don't have an address and a phone number where people can reach you? You're not usable.
right.
Red bar right through your site.
Mm,
So, and I know a lot of SEOs never cared about those things. I mean, it wasn't until recently where the EEAT came in where, can I trust the site? Well, there's no address. How can I
right.
trust the site? I can't reach them. How do I trust them? And all of a sudden, all of that is going to come out with the AI component.
Right.
And if I'm going to send somebody to your site, you better be trustworthy.
Right.
And all of those changes, some of it can be done in templates, but if I have to rewrite and make sure my content answers a question instead of just talks about it,
Yeah, the trillions and trillions of web pages out there. That's insane.
it is. It is insane. The other thing that's kind of interesting is there's a lot of tools out there that can detect if you're writing in an AI or a human style,
Right.
right? Well, here's part of the problem. We have a page written by a human, 100% human. We ran it through Grammarly, came out 94% human. How many pages in the world have been run through Grammarly in the last 20 years? I mean,
Yeah.
hello. Um,
But isn't it true? I've heard lots of false positives where people have written things that were and they came up as AI. So I heard the other day somebody wrote put the Declaration of Independence through a checker and it said it was like 98% AI.
well, that's because that's who wrote it. Um, yeah. Um, the by the way, that's a classic example of the problem. One of the things that we discovered was when I ran it, I have like 5 or 6 different testers
Hmm.
to see if it's human. And if it's e-commerce, this test says it's okay. The other one says it's AI
Oh, interesting.
because the
Interesting.
testers are, do you have a format? If you have a rigid format, they consider you e-commerce,
Mm.
but they consider you not friendly. And and so we're finding that the way that all of these testers work are different. So we can run it through this tester and get 100% human and run it through that one and it's 50% AI. Same page.
What you gonna believe? Who are you
Which
gonna
you're going to
believe?
believe. But you, where you back it up is you have to understand, we have something called a humanizer.
Mm.
in PreWriter. And so when you run it, it determines if it's transactional or informational, and
Mm,
it changes its process of humanizing the content
nice.
on the fly. And we found that we can get very close to 100% human, because that is one of the biggest determining factors. What's your style,
Right. Well, why don't you talk a
right?
little bit more about PreWriter? Because I love the concept.
Okay. I'm a tool guy. And when AI came out 2 years ago, I jumped on it and I was spending maybe 10 hours a day on it. It was,
I know
well,
at
who
the
needs to
beginning
sleep?
it was really fascinating, wasn't it? It was just
Yeah.
cool. Really
I
cool.
mean, when SEO came out, I was just up constantly just doing SEO.
Mm,
But after a while, you're managing a business and you're familiar with it, and Google changes at the speed of a tortoise,
yeah.
right? So we're okay. And then AI shows up and it's all over again.
Yep.
Exciting, brand new. Uh, you can change a company's life by doing it right,
Exactly.
right? And it was very exciting. And I jumped on it. And one of the first things I started doing was I knew where I was going to go because that's what I've done for 30 years. So I created a series of scripts, console scripts, to prototype what I wanted it to do.
Mm.
And then we programmed it into our application, right? Uh, by the way, you find out that there's a lot of differences when you do that. But so what we have is prewriter.ai, and it's a collection of 30 tools so far and growing. And we can take, for instance, you ever get an email and you read it and it's verbose, but
Hmm.
it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can take that email, put it into our tool, and spit out an article, a PowerPoint, I mean, all sorts of things, even a press
Nice.
release about that article. And what it does is it has totally taken it and rewrote it.
I love it.
It just used it as go there,
Yeah.
right? We take it, we boil it down, we analyze the keywords, build an outline, write an article, do persona identification, problem solving, content gap, build the article, resequence the sections based on the learning style of a reader.
Mm.
Then we boil it back and create an outline again, and then we regenerate the whole thing so there's no
Wow.
plagiarism. And
Fantastic.
it's 152 steps because we're doing a lot of stuff. And when you get through that whole thing, it's amazing.
Mm.
But and we have the humanizer. So now what we can do is we can actually have it. So here's your one keyword you gave me and 50 more. Dead
Wow.
on target. Here's an
Beautiful.
outline. Dead on target. Here's a content brief. Dead on target.
Mm.
Here's a profile of the subject, right down to EEAT analysis. Here's, I mean, we
Wow.
give
It does
you
everything.
all of that. Uh, the way the system works is it's actually on tokens, and the tokens are $1.90. It'll
Hmm.
take 5 tokens to do that. So for under $10, in 20 minutes, I just gave your writer all of the research they could possibly have. So there's no content gaps, there's no writer's block, there's no experience gaps. You don't have to worry about research. And it's called pre-writer for a reason.
So you're
You
not
give it,
what you're outputting is not the actual piece of content that they're going to create. You're outputting something that then goes into the writer's process and has them look
correct.
at and create. So it's a research tool. It's very
It's
sophisticated,
a
super
research tool.
sophisticated research tool. I love it.
It Because you have to understand, a writer, left brain, right brain, uh, they're not that good at research, but boy, are they the artist.
Oh yeah, it's not a That's the thing. It's like writing, marketing, researching, all different skill sets, very different skill sets. But they expect
Yeah.
writers to do all three. Good luck.
And I think it's unfortunate. And we still run into people who think, well, can't AI write the whole article?
Mm,
And the answer is, well, you're not doing compliance in the first place. You're
mm,
not doing tone and style and the nuances of how our company works and our mission statement
yeah,
and the subtleties of how we even take orders. I mean, you gotta you gotta allow the company to do what it does right. But
yeah,
if I can take a 5 hour process down to 2 hours, I just won.
yeah. No, that's the
And
thing.
for
It's like people want to take humans out of the mix, but I think humans have to be in the mix.
Yes,
They've
they
got to be there.
must be in the mix
Yeah.
unconditionally. And so to answer your question, PreWriter is just a whole bunch of tools.
Mm.
And here's the cool part. What we can do is we can take a competitor web page that's ranked number one. You can go to the page, copy the content, paste it in, and we'll rewrite it with the same thing we just did, and it'll come out totally unique.
I love it. That is so
And it
cool.
did the content gap analysis. It did personas. It did all sorts of really cool things.
Wow, that sounds totally, totally worth it.
It is. And we haven't really pushed it because I keep inventing new tools, but it's got 30 and it's very, very good.
So it's time to think like a futurist. It's the year 2035, 10 years from now. Where do you think things are going to be in 10 years? Will AI have completely taken over this entire space and
Yeah.
there'll be nothing left? Seriously?
No, there'll be
So,
a lot left.
okay.
It turns out,
It will
um,
take over the space plot, but there will also be other things.
well, it'll SEO will adapt.
Hmm.
There's always going to be a way to ask and a way to present.
Right.
And there's always going to be advertising. So
Really?
whatever that looks like, you think Google could survive with no advertising?
Well, they've got to figure out a different way of doing it because we were talking about the voice assistants earlier, right? I mean, if I'm talking to my Alexa or some other voice assistant and it already knows everything about me, it already knows where I am, it's aware of everything, and it can give me like the best possible answer. Like where's the advertising fit? Is it more like we were saying before,
Well, it'll
product
be
placement?
beyond that. You'll just
Yeah.
get up in the morning and find five Amazon boxes on your front door.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff I was looking at last week.
It'll just say, he can afford it, and we'll just order it.
He could always return it if he doesn't like it, right?
Apparently. Um, yeah, my garage is where Amazon boxes go to die. It's sort of like the elephant graveyard. I got boxes coming out of my ears. Um, but where is it going to be in 35? I'd say, 10 years from now. Well, first, it's way too far to guess, but
Hmm.
I really think AI is going to evolve. I, the things that have me most concerned is an AI browser
Mm,
that makes decisions for you,
mm,
right? It's like everybody has a computer that has a friend that is your executive assistant and just takes care of you.
mm.
I think that's where it's going. It anticipates questions. It can do the deep research. It can order things. Hi, I want to go to Vegas this weekend. Poof, all of a sudden I got hotel, airfare,
Yeah. It's
everything
it's
ranked.
it's agentic at that point. It becomes your agent and it does all these things on your behalf. And
As I
like you said, it's
said,
proactive.
I have an executive assistant that knows me and will take care of me
Mm.
and will spend my money for me. Or wait, that's a wife. But okay, it'll be,
Maybe it can help both of you. Right?
we'll see what it does. But
You work on it
where I
together.
think it goes, I think that we're going to see the assistant role becoming much, much, much bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think there's a way around it.
Awesome. So thank you so much. This has been great. Lots of fun. I love going down memory lane on these things too. It's great. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Well, they can always find me on LinkedIn because that's where I spend a lot of my time. BruceClay.com. Just
Easy.
go there. My
Spelled
email.
like it's pronounced.
Yep. And I tell people my email, it's bclay@bruceclay.com. And
And they
they
still
always
mess it up.
get it right. So
Well, awesome.
it works
So
out well. I'm easy to find.
Okay, well, I'll put all the links in the show notes so they can go directly to you. So thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
Pixels and philosophies merge and mold, a future untold, unseen.